Hello everyone, welcome back gardeners.
Happy Fertilizer Friday.
It is Fertilizer Friday. We're going to be talking about our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer in a little bit. But the topic today is 5 reasons that we love Supertunias. So that's the Supertunia family. We're specifically going to zero in on the proven winners line of these great big gorgeous prolific Supertunias. So that's what we're going to take a look at today, and I'll give you those 5 reasons. So reason number one, incredible bloom power. I mean, these are if you want show-stopping performance, the absolute curb appeal, people are driving past your house and they're like, look at Ethel, look at their house. If that's what you want, these are the flowers for you. Okay, so we have so many rubberneckers past our front, our area that we do out in the front. It's pretty show-stopping, and
these are the baskets that we put out front by us.
Yeah, we put out these are 14-inch hanging baskets, and we have 10 of them that we put out, and they are show-stopping.
And remember, this is early on, so these will get massive
early on, but we are at the end part of our season, our selling greenhouse season.
Right.
So incredible flower power, bloom power. So these are the big beasts. These are if they were Saint Bernard, if they were in the dog family, these would be Saint Bernards. So, all right. So number 2
is self-cleaning.
Oh, that's a big one.
We get asked that all the time. What does self-cleaning mean? It means they're going to just shed off the extra. They're going to have so many blooms that you're not going to have to sit and deadhead. You know how sometimes you have a petunia and it'll be beautiful, and then it'll look like because it has all the little
goes through that cycle, and it's trying to reproduce itself by seed.
These don't. These just shed off. Does that mean that you're not going to have, some
maybe a few
in there?
The wind's going to take care of most.
It does, but they don't get that like sad look to them. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you'll see a petunia and you're like, ooh, that needs to be taken care of. And we have some in the greenhouse because they're not part of that Supertunia series.
Yeah.
The Supertunias, you don't have to deadhead.
Yeah, that's
a huge. Can you imagine?
I think, yeah.
Can you imagine on these baskets? And look at, we're standing pretty far in front of them. They're huge. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine having to get on a ladder and deadhead these?
No.
There's
we
not
don't
a
touch
chance.
them. We don't touch them. We just, as far as deadheading, no deadheading. You do, not that you can't. You're not going to hurt anything. You just don't need to. You don't need to spend any time at all deadheading. And I think that is.
If it's your therapy, go for it.
Yeah, that's the big.
But most
big,
people
big
don't
factor.
like to do that.
Mm.
Do you like to deadhead?
No. Therefore, I go with the Supertunia family. And just to explain a little bit, why don't you need to deadhead? These are not from seed. These are they're from vegetative cuttings. So they're not trying to reproduce themselves through seeds, and that's why you have to deadhead. Though that flower roll, it'll bloom, and then it's naturally going through that cycle of then there'll be a little seed pod that forms after it sheds the bloom, and that's why we deadhead normally, because we don't want them to produce seeds. We want them to produce flowers. These are not bred for that. They're not from seed. They're from vegetative cuttings, so they're not trying to reproduce through seed. They just keep producing flowers. That's what we want.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3, fast, vigorous growth. When these get going, they just keep going, and they get massive. And when I tell people, because they're like, man, people are coming in the greenhouse and they're looking at our hanging baskets like, those are huge, and I'll tell them those are half size right now. Those are running at 50%.
Right.
They're gonna really get big. They're gonna get massive. You absolutely cannot put your arms around, especially like this 14-inch size. They'll be 5 to 6 feet in diameter, and they just get these massive, huge displays of flowers. So they are. Once they get established, once those roots are established in that soil and you're feeding properly, you have some fast and vigorous growth. And you can use these as, not just hanging baskets, but you can plant them in the ground. They're one of the few things that can outperform, you know, like grass, or, you know, like they'll become a hedge in the ground.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, they're very vigorous growing.
So let's go right into number 4 then.
Mm-hmm.
Because that kind of goes with the vigorous portion of it.
Yeah. So the heat and weather tolerant, that's another big one. Like just the performance of, they can handle that high heat. They can handle wind. I've literally seen these hanging baskets sideways in a strong wind and with hail damage. I've seen them get shredded with from hail, and they just kept performing. They came right back. Hi Zoe, our dog just walked in. They just come right back with the proper feeding and fertilizing, and you know, to give them that quick boost of nutrients so they start flowering again. I've seen the stems get broken and they just repaired themselves. So they're actually amazing in that sense. Anything that you can imagine, they can really perform and go right through it. So the most strong series of petunias that I've seen.
And they go down to a pretty low temperature once they're established.
Yeah, as you get into that fall period, you know, these petunias, we've seen down to 26 degrees.
And that's not a consistent 26.
Yeah, but that's
a
not
touch and go.
that's not frost. That's a hard freeze, and everything else dies off, and the petunias are still going strong. Now again, that's in the fall when that temperature is slowly going down. It's not,
right.
And I'm not talking like in the spring where they're being used to 60 some degrees in the greenhouses, and you put them outside and you can't have 20 degrees, you know, that's too much of a temperature swing. But in the fall, yeah, they can handle going down to about 26 degrees.
We get asked a lot, how long will they keep blooming? And you need to consistently take care of them.
Yeah.
You normally get sick of watering them.
I do.
And by Halloween, he's putting covers on them. Yeah. And he's like, okay, they're made into ghost, and they're getting tossed out.
But we've had them into November.
Yes.
In northern Wisconsin. That's
yeah.
If you understand that, you understand that. Okay. Yeah, November in northern Wisconsin. So, but yeah, I get tired of, like, I've been watering these since February of the previous year. So, they can handle a lot and really last a long time. You get a lot of mileage with these super petunias.
Number 5.
Mm-hmm.
They come in a wide variety of colors.
Yeah, so there's a lot.
We love the great big pink, the bubblegum pink.
It's our favorite.
It was the original, and it is the most vigorous one.
Yeah, yep.
There's, you know, the white and the paradise or the fuchsia are really good runner-up. The magenta, the royal velvet are really great. A new favorite, the Bordeaux.
Yep.
So you have all those pinks and purples, and then you have the mini vistas.
Yeah, I love it. They perform fabulously too.
The difference is the size of the flower. The mini vista kind of looks like a Calibrachoa as far as the delicate size of it.
Yeah.
But they still get they're not going to get anywhere near the size of the bubblegum.
Yeah, that's the biggest. But the minis are great. You know, it's going to fill out.
It's still going to be a big ball of color.
Yeah, lots of color.
But look at, there's yellow, there's the dark indigo, there's a scarlet color.
So there's a lot.
There's pink, there's that, grab that one. This is the mini hot pink.
Look how gorgeous this is.
Isn't that so cute?
So we just have this in a 10-inch pot, but yeah, I mean, it gets very thick, and this wasn't planted that long ago. So I mean, these are going to get big. So this is just one plant in a 10-inch pot,
right?
And it's looking gorgeous. So we've done up our petunia trees with these.
If you're in our area, be sure to drive past, especially come middle of July and then August.
Yeah,
yes.
Everything is really looking awesome. A
is.
lot of curb appeal. A lot of people just pull in and take lots of pictures of all the super petunias in our yard,
which is a huge compliment.
Absolutely.
And we've had a lot of our customers who have bought the super petunias, and they say, I had people knocking on my door.
What are those?
Where'd you get them from?
Yeah.
So they are becoming more available throughout. A lot more people are carrying them now.
Yes. Yeah.
But how do people know if they have a super petunia?
Yeah.
Or Supertunia, the name is called.
So
or if they're just getting a regular petunia or a wave petunia. Like, how do you know?
You know, you really need to look at the tag, and this is, again, these Supertunias. Supertunia is a registered trademark of Proven Winners, so it's on the tag. So you're looking for a Proven Winners tag,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you on there. So specifically today we're talking about Proven Winners products. So this is what they've bred, and they're just awesome, like we've been talking about. But grabbing that tag, that's how you're going to know if you have Super Petunias or not.
There is some other petunias that are coming out that are very comparable.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
are not part of the Proven Winners series. We know the performance of the Proven Winners.
We've had 2
Supertunias.
decades of
And
experience
so
with it.
that's what we're showing you today.
I just want to show this. This is Super Bina. It mixes well within the Super Petunias, and it just looks really nice poking through all over there. Now, Verbena has a little bit of cleanup that comes with it, but again, this Proven Winners series, it really lasts a long time, and you're not constantly cleaning it up. But the Verbena's awesome.
This is a plant that we did a 3rd round of baskets. So this is really
This is not big yet.
This has not been planted that long ago, and look at how full it is already. The same thing with the mini, where these were planted back in late February, early March. These were just planted, I want to say, in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so they're looking great though, coming along. A
And
lot
we
of
have-
varieties, a lot of colors.
We have a lot of them individually for people to plant it themselves.
Yeah, they want to make their own hanging baskets, and we've done some videos on how to do that. So again, check out our YouTube channel and check out those videos. That
Or
will show
if you
how to do
don't,
it.
you could just come get a basket.
Right on. So a couple things, some common mistakes with Supertunia. And the first one, which we're going to be talking about, is not feeding them enough. Okay, so they're big, all right? They're impressive.
They bloom a lot.
They need to have the nutrients. Okay, so you're not going to have this this showcase if you're not feeding them. If you're just gonna, well, I fertilized, like once last year, they're gonna look at, because they're starving of the nutrients. Like, they want to go. They're bred for that big, vigorous growth.
Right.
And if you're not feeding them, they're not going to perform. So, at least once a week with the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. Once we hit summer, I put ours on a constant feed. And a constant feed is a lower dose, like a 1/3 to half strength dose. But every time I'm watering, they're getting fed, and that makes them look like they do. So,
And in the
constant
fall,
feed
it's
is great.
basically you don't tear off in the fall.
I don't. You actually have to go almost to that full strength.
Because you're saying don't die, don't die,
Well,
don't die.
the nights being colder, and your nights are now into the 30s and 40s, and everything is sluggish in the fall, so you have to give them a little bit more feed. You don't want to go over the strength, but they do require more nutrients as they get slower and sluggish in that colder fall time to kind of stay where you're at in that summertime when they're just absolutely vigorous and prolific.
And in the summertime, they require a lot of water.
Yeah, they'll drink a lot.
And that doesn't mean pouring out the bottom.
Yep.
We don't.
That's
That's
too
a big
much.
no-no.
It's much better to water maybe twice a day if you need to. Now, I don't, because I have these in 14-inch containers. That's almost 5 gallons of soil. And I water once a day in the morning. I don't water till it comes out the bottom, but I don't have to, no matter how hot it gets, I don't have to water them usually in the afternoon. They're
So it's-
14-inch containers, very, very good.
It rained a little bit last night.
It did.
Do you have to water them today?
I sure do. Yeah, so that's another common mistake. Like, oh, it rained last night. That does not do it. When you look at how thick this foliage is on these Supertunias, that rain it's like an umbrella. It sheds right off the blooms and the foliage. It will not water those hanging baskets, so don't let that
But
fool
always
you.
check it, because if
Lift-
you're like in a
lift that
downspout
hanging
area,
basket.
you
Yeah,
always
good.
want to check it.
Or the roof line. If that roof line is dripping right into it, then but the best way is to check it. Yeah, but don't assume that rain watered your hanging baskets. Here's a spoiler alert: it didn't. if they're Super Petunias, it's just going to shed right off. So be sure to check it. That's one that catches me off guard every year, and I know better. So I'm just
These
letting
are
you know.
really the reason why we started the fertilizer company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you had already been using our fertilizer for many years, and people would stop and see this on our building, and they'd be like, "What the heck are you doing? Like, like what are you doing?" And that's where the fertilizer company came into play. Is they're like, "Well, what do you mean I have to feed them?" And that's where that started going. So
so like, what are you using? Well, I mix up my own. And will you sell me some of it? And I'm like, well, I suppose. Okay, so our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer is
10 years later, here we are.
Is the reason that our flowers look like they do. It has the right balanced nutrients, especially for the Supertunias, but it's well balanced that you can use it in your garden for your vegetables, for your indoor house plants. It's you can use that about once a month. Outdoor plants and flowers about once a week. So. But anyway, that is our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer, and you can find it at Lake's Flower Cabin in Wakefield, Michigan. They are one of our brand new retailers. So we have retailers all across the country carrying our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. So.
And if you aren't in that area, because there is a lot of retailers across the United States.
More and more every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can find it on our retailer map on the beatyourneighbor.com. Or if you're not near any of those, you need to talk to your local garden center to have them carry it.
Yeah, right on.
Or you can order it right online and we'll ship it to you within 48 states.
Yep. So that's our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. All that information, everything you need to know. I know there's lots of questions. All those questions are answered at our beatyourneighbor.com website. If you have specific questions, there's a FAQ, frequently asked questions. You can go there and all those questions are answered. So. All right.
Beautiful. So you have to go around and start watering all your baskets.
I do, yep. Even though it rained last night, I know that I have to water because it's still supposed to be sunny and 80 degrees today, and the rain did not do it. I know that, so I'm not going to let it catch me. All right, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.